It's Friday. It is raining outside currently. It is, I believe, day 19 of quarantine for me. So we're making brownies. Dedicated to Cara Del Sandro in Portland, Maine, and her suggestion obviously was to do brownies. So since last week I baked cookies, and spoiler alert if you haven't watched the episode already, the recipe does make 40 cookies. So I actually ate 25 cookies in 3 days because we didn't want any cookies to go to waste, and none went to waste, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit sweeted out.
I mean, obviously there's room for more.
But I was thinking that since I did kind of a traditional cookie recipe last week, that this time around I'm going to do a little bit of a healthier alternative. Still making brownies though. So my sister, shout out Juliet, sent me this great recipe that's still delicious and it's essentially a normal brownie recipe, but it's just, we're gonna sub out a few healthier options to make it not so decadent.
Decadent.
That is decadent. And here you will see the ingredients that we will be using today. As you can tell, they actually are quite similar to the cookies that we made last week, with a few substitutions and a few added ingredients. So we're gonna go over all of these really quickly and then we will get to baking. Okay, so obviously to make brownies, we're going to need chocolate. So we have two different kinds of chocolate here. We have this Hershey's Cocoa Special Dark 100% Cacao. So we're gonna use this, and we are also going to use these Hershey's Special Dark Chocolate Chips. So you can use, if you wanted to do semi-sweet instead, or I don't know, other brownie recipes might make. Okay, so you guys already know the drill. The first step to baking is always preheating the oven. So we're gonna preheat to 350 degrees and then we will start baking. Now, before we start mixing the ingredients, we are going to get our pan ready. And the recipe said to use an 8x8 pan, but I have a 9x6 pan. I believe that's what this is. So we're gonna just use that instead. The brownies might be a little bit thinner, but I'm sure they'll still turn out just fine. So just like last time, we are going to oil up the pan really good. I am running a little bit low on this coconut oil spray, so we're gonna try to do our best to oil it up. If I run out, I might just use some of that. I can't believe it's not butter, just so it doesn't stick, but I think this should be just enough, and then I'm gonna end up needing to get more spray at some point. I think this is good. That should be good. It's pretty oiled up, so there we go. Next, we are going to take a small saucepan and we are going to melt the coconut oil and the chocolate chips together into a gooey,
chocolatey creation.
Okay, and next we are going to take the butter, or the, I can't believe it's not butter, and we're going to do 5 tablespoons. So usually, most of the time on these butter sticks, it will tell you where the tablespoons are. So we're gonna do 5 of those. So if you're following the recipe exactly, you would do 5 tablespoons of coconut oil here. But we're gonna do the butter. So we're just gonna add that straight into the pan with the chocolate chips, which are already starting to melt. And we are just going, oven is preheated. And we are just going to mix those all up until they are all combined. So here you can see everything is starting to mix together and melt, and it looks really good. I know I said we were doing a healthier alternative today, but it doesn't really seem like it so far. But we are using dark chocolate chips, which are full of antioxidants, so that's good. Make sure that when you're melting the butter and the chocolate chips that you keep it on low. I'm actually gonna lower it all the way down because you don't want anything to burn. See how it's already kind of sizzling a little bit there. So as soon as the butter melts completely and everything's mixed together, we will turn off the heat, and then we will start mixing the other ingredients together in a bowl. Okay, so as you can see, everything is mixed together. So we're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat and remove the saucepan from the heat so it doesn't cook anymore. And then we will get out, oh, actually, I forgot, put it over here. We're going to go ahead and start mixing all the ingredients in the pot. Okay, so first thing we're going to add in here are 2 eggs. We're just gonna crack them straight into the pot. And then make sure to wash your hands right after. And then we are going to add 2/3 of a cup of the coconut sugar. So again, we are going to do 11 tablespoons because that equals 2/3 of a cup. And I actually used to cook with coconut sugar all the time. Well, here, I don't want to lose count. And I haven't in a while. Okie doke, now we're gonna whisk that all together. So the recipe says to whisk this all together for about 1 to 2 minutes or until it is all combined. So I might need both of my hands to do this, but I just want to show you what I'm doing. You're just gonna make sure that everything in the pot is combined. So this is what the mixture looks like after whisking it together. I'm actually really digging this recipe so far. And next we are going to add 2 teaspoons of the bourbon vanilla extract. Teaspoon. We're gonna mix this in, and then we're going to add that melted chocolate and coconut oil / butter mixture that we had previously. That we had melted on the stove. We're gonna mix that all together. See, we're just mixing this together. And now we're gonna add the chocolate, which looks really good. I could honestly eat this by the spoonful. It smells so good. And I used to make brownies all the time from the box, and I haven't done that in literally years. And this is actually my first time making brownies from scratch, I think, also. So I'm excited to see how these turn out. So I'm actually going to let this soak in water for a little bit because it will be easier to clean. And I'm going to save the spoon because I'm going to lick it. Okay, now we are going to combine all of that, and wow, it almost looks like chocolate caramel right now. But we're gonna mix that all together, and again, I might need both hands because the pot keeps spinning, but I just want to show you what I'm doing for now. And I can really start smell the vanilla coming through, which I never knew that you could put vanilla in brownies, but I guess it makes sense. So next it says to mix, kind of like what we did with the cookies, where we mixed the dry ingredients in a separate bowl and then added them to the wet ingredients. It says to do that in this recipe also, But to save us some dishes from that we have to do, I think I'm just gonna try it and then we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and add the dry ingredients one by one into the mixture. I don't really see how it could go wrong, so we'll see. So first thing we're gonna add is 2/3 of a cup of almond flour, which again equals about 11 tablespoons. And I love when this happens, when it just works out that you have literally like basically just the right amount left. That's always the best. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pour the rest in here. You know, it's just the little things in life, like not having an awkward amount of flour left over when you're making brownies. Next, we are adding 3 tablespoons of the cocoa powder. And this is unsweetened cocoa powder. 1. It's kind of hard to do with one hand again. 2. And 3. Next up is the baking soda, and I did double check. It does in fact ask for baking soda, not powder, so make sure it's the soda. We're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of the baking soda, and then we are going to add 1/4 teaspoon or 5 turns of the sea salt. And that is it for the dry ingredients. So now we are just going to whisk everything together, add some more chocolate chunks, and then it will be ready to bake. And this is brownie is more cakey, so it's not like cookies where you would have to go in with your hands. I don't think I'm gonna have to do that in this instance. So a whisk should just be fine. I might have to try this too because it looks so good. It's not a lot though. Look at that ooey gooey goodness. Might have to scoop that out with a spoon. So we are going to switch over to a spoon because we're gonna fold in the chocolate chips next. We're doing 1/2 cup, so that is 8 tablespoons, which I do know off of the top of my head, so that's a lot easier. But we're gonna fold those in, and then they're going to go in the baking sheet and they will be ready to go. So 8 tablespoons, which might honestly be the rest of this bag, so we might just go ahead and pour the whole thing in there. We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be maybe a little bit less than 1/2 cup or about 1/2 cup, so I'm just gonna pour those in. These are going to be so decadent. Wow. That is decadent. Alrighty, would you look at that? We are gonna stick these in the oven. Whew, hot. Put that baby in there and set the timer for 25 minutes. And I was only planning on licking the spoon once, but there's just so much goodness in there to take care of. So the brownies have about 19 minutes actually now left in the oven, but I had a thought actually. So since I ate, had so many cookies last week
or whatever,
and I don't necessarily need to eat a whole pan of brownies to myself, I was thinking, since one of my friends, Ashley, lives down the street from me, she is still working. She is an essential worker, and she's been working her butt off. And since she'll be gone all day tomorrow, I haven't seen her obviously in weeks since this whole thing began, but we have been talking on the phone and everything. But I was thinking that maybe tomorrow I could go drop them off on her doorstep. Obviously save 1 or 2 for me, but give her the rest of the brownies so that she can have a treat to come home to. Just because also I'm here all on my lonesome now, so I really would be eating the whole pan to myself, and I
don't need that again.
And also I wanted to say that I know I have now baked something 2 weeks in a row and done something sweet 2 weeks in a row, but next week I have something very savory, and I'll give you one little hint that it is a southern delicacy. So I will be doing that next week, so stay tuned. And now I've just moved counters to tell you my next announcement that from my spaghetti bolognese episode that I did, Alex Fitzpatrick, who was the one who that episode was dedicated to, she had nominated, nominated spaghetti bolognese to be on my first episode back. She let me know earlier today that she is actually working on a response video where she will be making spaghetti bolognese as well. So it looks like that spaghetti cook-off that we talked about is happening sooner than I thought. So as soon as she's done with that, I will leave the link so you guys can go watch how she makes hers. I already know that she has a secret ingredient in hers. Hers is a pretty fancy recipe, and my sister Juliet said actually that it is the best bolognese she's ever had, that it could even be potentially better than our grand-mères, which would be a big deal. So we wouldn't be able to tell grand-mère that though. But anyway, so yes, I will keep you posted, but I really think that's fun that she's doing that. So Alex, I can't wait to see your bolognese and how you make it. And then I guess the next time we're together, I'll just let you make yours because yours is obviously better, but I can't wait to try it. And I have moved locations again for my next announcement. There are 14 minutes left on the clock currently, or no, 13 now. So the next thing is that I have had some people tell me that they are going to actually send in clips of what they are making. So if you want to do that, send me your clips and I will add them into my episode. But maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe you'll send them, maybe you won't send them. I don't know. Obviously, I'm ready for these brownies to come out of the oven. Okay, and there are 23 seconds left on the clock, so I am getting my my oven mitt ready to grab the brownies out of the oven when they are ready. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whoop! So we are turning the oven off, we are turning the timer off, and we are pulling the brownies out of the oven. Oh, okay, goodness. Wow. That looks incredible. So, even if the brownies look a little
gooey
still, that is okay because they still bake even once they're out. I'm just gonna stick them in. And it came out a little dirty, but I think these are good. So now we're gonna wait at least 1 hour, maybe 2 hours before we actually get to eat them. We'll see how long they last. Okie dokie. So I figured I had some time to kill while I waited on the brownies to chill. So since the brownies are chilling, I figured I would put on my just chilling sweater. Because it's my favorite sweater. And I got this sweater at a Walmart in Mississippi at 2 o'clock in the morning because Walmart in Oxford, Mississippi is the place to be at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, in case you didn't know that. So, the brownies are just going to be chilling for a few more minutes. I'm actually about to cut into them, probably in 5 minutes or so. And then we will try them. And here they are. So I am going to go in with a knife, and first I'm just going to do the outsides to make sure that it's not sticking to the side, which it seems like the coconut oil did its job. It's not sticking, except for a little bit on the corners. And then I'm just going to cut them up, and then I'm going to show you the special way that we're going to eat it tonight. So I just tried a little crispy part from the outside before I plated up, and it is good. I'm usually, I like the pieces that are on the inside, the not crispy outside pieces, but if I like this, then the middle must be really, really good.
So I am probably gonna go for that one in the middle right there.
And I just used a spatula and it came right out. So I'd say these probably were cooling for about an hour. So an hour is probably good enough if you don't want to wait 2 hours. But now I'm gonna tell you the secret ingredient we are going to be using on the side is Ben & Jerry's Americone Dream. If you have not had this ice cream, you must. It is delicious. It is Stephen Colbert's favorite ice cream, funny enough. But like I said earlier, I used to make brownies all the time in college out of the box, and every single time I discovered that this Americone ice cream is the best ice cream to go with brownies, because it has little pieces of fudge covered waffle cone pieces in caramel swirl, that's why. But the crunchy bits of the cone covered in chocolate go so well with the brownie. Like, it is literally the best combination, and I actually don't think I've made brownies since then. And so when I was at the store getting a couple of the items that I needed, and I went to go get ice cream and I saw that they had this, I knew I had to get it. So if you are making this at home, make sure you get Ben & Jerry's Americone Dream. Stephen Colbert approved. And Oliver, if you ever come back to New York, which I hope you do, I promise we're gonna go see Stephen Colbert. Look at that. All right. And we are ready to eat. Okay, here we go. So I'm making sure to get a little piece of the cone with the ice cream and the brownie all in one little bite. And here we go. Well, first of all, this is my first time making this brownie recipe, and this is delicious. I don't know if you can see, but there's like the little chocolate chips in there, semi-melted, which makes them taste just so delicious. And then with the ice cream on top, this is fantastic. So here I am once again with a whole thing of baked goods to eat to myself, but I'm really not complaining. And next week I can't wait to see you guys again, where we will be getting back to our southern roots, which is where Gaga's Kitchen began. So anyway, I can't wait to have you back for that, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you keep the ideas coming, I will keep making them. And yeah, so thank you again for joining in, and this has been fun, and I will see you next time. Bye.